for you this evening in lieu of my normal live stream, which will be back next week. I am going to show you my keynote from BrickSlopes. Just 1 week ago, I was visiting with my buddy Mark a LEGO fan convention for the first time in over a year and a half. And it was so much fun, and I had the privilege of sharing my keynote address for the very first time. I've never been a keynote speaker before, and you get to see it right here tonight. Thanks to John Hanlon from Beyond the Brick for capturing this footage. Because of him, I am able to share it with you tonight. Also, big thanks to my buddy Mark from LEGO Masters and my new friends Amber and Caleb, who were also very helpful during the keynote presentation. I will be in the live chat tonight. This is pre-recorded, so I won't be interacting with you on screen, but I will be over there interacting with you in the live chat. Thank you so much for watching, and this is my LEGO keynote, Life, LEGO, and the Pursuit of Happiness. Thank you so much for having me. How's your con? How's your con going? That was like a, if I had to imagine and a here, that was like a here. Is that accurate? How's your con going? Okay. All right, this is my very first keynote. I've never done a keynote before. I'm not a keynote speaker. I do know what a keynote is, but I've never written one before. The last time I saw Cody Otley face to face, he had some very kind words for me, and he said, Boone, we would be honored to have you keynote at the next BrickSlopes. But that was the first week of March 2020, and the second week of March 2020, womp womp. We all know what happened. But thank you very much, Cody. Appreciate it. The keynote has not begun yet. First, we have a few administrative items that I need to take care of. Disclaimer. The following keynote is based on I'm going to start over. The following keynote is based and solely on my opinions. The statements made herein do not represent and are not endorsed by the LEGO Group, BrickSlopes Fan Convention, BrickLink Incorporated, LEGO Masters, Fox, Beyond the Brick, Bricks Cascade Fan Convention, BrickCon Fan Convention, Merlin Entertainment, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or any of their affiliates and subsidiaries. The topics, examples, anecdotes, philosophies stated within this keynote are not intended to be an exhaustive representation of the LEGO fan experience and are merely based on my own limited experiences. All content within this presentation is used either with permission of its owners, under fair use, or by the strictly loosey-goosey policy of do first, ask forgiveness later. All right. I want this to be an interactive evening, and I'm going to try to make it as interactive as possible. Some of you are going to say things. Some of you are going to put your hands in the air. I should say some of you are going to raise your hand. There's no good way to say that without it being like some hip-hop artist trying to... All right. So in the name of just diving into the spirit of interactivity, it is time to elect, or for me to select, our first volunteer. Our first volunteer must be able to guess quantities and percentages at a glance. And maybe that's like, our first volunteer must be good at math. So raise your hand, raise your hand.
3/4 of the way to being good and ready for you.
I'm looking around, raise your hand. You're really good at math? You're really good at math? Will she come represent you as our first volunteer? Yes. Come on up. You don't have to be good at math. All right. Actually, this thing is broken. There's actually a second criteria. Must be willing to build a mock with a random teammate. Are you willing to build a mock with a random teammate? I promise I'll be good to you.
Do I get 12 hours?
What, no, you get the rest of this keynote.
No.
Introduce yourself to the audience.
I'm Amber Christensen.
Thank you, Amber. Everyone, give Amber a round of applause. All right. Because you need a teammate, I'm going to give you the best teammate I know. I'm going to lend you Mr. Mark Crookshank. Mark Crookshank. Mark Cruikshank, everybody. Are you willing to sit here and build a mock with Mark?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Amber. It's Amber?
Yes.
We need these. The reason I asked for someone who was good at math, which you really don't need to be for the purposes of this, every now and then I'm going to call you up from the build that you're going to be doing with Mark to look out into the audience of hands that are raised, and your job is just to make a guess as to what percentage of the room is raising their hand.
I can make a guess.
You can make a guess. Awesome. All right, everybody, give Amber a round of applause. Amber, you're going to sit down, please, for now. Amber, I will be calling you up a couple of times to do that job for us. Okay. Mark, are you willing to build with Amber? Yeah. All right. So we need a build challenge theme idea from the audience. This is like, whose line is it anyway? Just call them out, and I'll pick the one that I think I like the best.
Plaid shirts.
Hold on, he said plaid shirts. That's the number one so far. You have 5 seconds to give me a better one. Laser crocodiles in plaid shirts. Your challenge is a laser crocodile in a plaid shirt. Can you build a laser crocodile in a plaid shirt before the end of this keynote?
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Everybody, give a hand to Mark and Amber. They are going to try to build a laser crocodile in a plaid shirt before the end of this keynote. Now, keynote, the title of a keynote. If you look at your schedule, you might think the title of this keynote is Keynote. But it's not. A keynote must have a better title than Keynote. The title of a keynote should tell the audience something that they might expect to get from, something they might expect to learn, something they might expect to take away at the end of the keynote. So my title is not Keynote. But in trying to think about what the title of this keynote would be, am I talking too fast when I talk that fast? We've got a lot to do in an hour. When I said we've got a lot to do in an hour, I had no idea whether this was supposed to be an hour or not. Are we going until 9? Is that what's happening? Okay. All right. So I have some unused keynote titles. Unused keynote, these are titles that I thought about and I decided not to land on. Unused keynote title number 1, this keynote is not about Lego Masters. But it's kind of a major part of my story, so I'm probably going to mention it once or twice. Unused keynote title number 2, how to use BrickLink. The healthy benefits of talking openly about addiction. Next year. But I don't know who the keynote speaker is next year. Unused keynote title number 3, Lego fan conventions, a typical weekend for Abner. Now that was our first inside joke of the evening. Now inside jokes, I'm going to tell you later in the keynote why and how an inside joke can be a good thing. I think we've all experienced the times when an inside joke can be damaging, but there are times when inside jokes are really cool. I'll tell you about that later. And if you haven't met Abner, I'd encourage you tonight or tomorrow to go look for a friendly-looking person and ask them to introduce you to Abner. Abner, I'm just kidding. I love you. You're awesome. Everybody give Abner a hand. The inside joke there is Abner is the guy that we pretty much all regard as goes to more Lego conventions than anyone else. Is that true? Since 2000. Raise your hand if you think you have been to more Lego conventions than Abner. Amber, what percentage of the room is raising their hand? 0% of the room. Everybody give Amber a round of applause. She's already doing an incredible job. All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I told you this is my first keynote. There's a whole slide in here that, okay, we need to test Amber's ability with another couple
a couple of questions. So Amber, you need to take a moment and step away from Mark's build. I did not mean to say that. That didn't mean to be a joke. Step away from your collaboration with Mark. You're going to come back to him, and if you think it's unfair, don't worry, because there's going to be times when I call Mark up and you're going to be left alone at the table. Okay. So, here we go. We're going to test Amber, our statistics expert, a couple more times. Raise your hand if you consider yourself an extrovert. Okay? Leave them up for a moment because we need to give Amber a moment. Now, the phrasing of this is really important because if it was phrased, raise your hand if you consider yourself an introvert, we would not get an accurate read, right? So the extroverts have raised their hands. What percentage of the room would you say? 20%. Okay, you can put your hands down. Amber thinks 20% of the room is extrovert. I think that's fairly, I would have said 15 or 18 or 20. Yeah. Okay. One more test. Raise your hand if you're still wondering what this keynote is about. What percentage of the room?
That looks like a strong 90.
Okay. Thank you very much. Amber, you may continue your build. But now it's time for me to get to the real title of this keynote. And to do that, I'm going to go back to July when I posted on Instagram and Facebook a question that said, in one word, the most universal human pursuit is. And you can think for a moment about what your answer to that might be. Maybe a few people in this room saw this post and answered. And I got a number of answers. I think it was at least 300. My lovely wife, Danny, went through and typed out all the answers and put them into a word cloud. And if you don't know what a word cloud is, it's this kind of interesting graphical thing that kind of artistically shows you what prominence each word had among all the words that were included. So I'll remind you of the question. In one word, the most universal human pursuit is... And most people, it wasn't most people, but the highest answered word was happiness. Maybe love, but it put happiness in the middle, so happiness probably had love by like 1 or 2. That's really what my keynote is going to be about. We're going to get back to some of these other big ones. Does this have a laser? Oh my gosh. I'm too close to the... What?
Hand it over for the laser.
The laser? Oh, good idea. You know, so love is pretty big, but look at these. Connection, belonging, acceptance, purpose. Man, those are big. Lego's big, of course. This says more about the stuff I post, I think. Okay. So just to see if we identify with this on some level, Amber, I need you one more time, but you can stay there and just look. Raise your hand if you prefer being happy over being unhappy. And we will not judge you if you have your hand down. What percentage do you think?
I think it's 100.
It's really close to 100. It might be 97%. Can we agree? Can we split the difference? 97.8? Amber says 97.8% of the room says that they prefer being happy over being unhappy. So the real title of this keynote, and we're 13 minutes in, is Lego, Life, and the Pursuit of Happiness. And now it is time for disclaimer number 2. I'm not really an expert. Hold on, before I read that. I don't know if you noticed, on the first disclaimer, I didn't put disclaimer number 1, because if I had, you'd be waiting for disclaimer number 2 instead of being interested in whatever happened in the last 10 minutes. I'm not really an expert in anything. I can share from my own experience some things I've learned which have been valuable to me. Feel free to take with you those things that you might find resonate with you and might benefit you in the future. And if you hear something that's like, Oh, that's kind of something that I understand, but I would think about it this way. That is more than acceptable. Okay. Lego, life, and the pursuit of happiness. And this was where I was going to talk about those other things, but I already did it, but it gives you one more quick look at it. This is a little song from my build camp, boonsbuildcamp.com. And it didn't occur to me until like yesterday to include these. I was like, I'll just include these for fun. There you go. All right. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my first Lego life lesson. It is embrace the goodness of your, what is going on? Sorry. Embrace the goodness of your priorities. This can apply to your life. This can apply to your Lego life. But a Lego convention is a great space to observe this in action. There are so many different things that can happen here at a Lego fan convention, at one like BrickSlopes. Let's list some examples. We're going to list some examples of things you might engage in while you're at a Lego fan convention. And for that, we need volunteer number 2. Must be willing to be our scribe at the whiteboard. Must have somewhat legible whiteboard handwriting. And I promise there is no hidden... That was great. Great timing. There is no hidden criteria. Okay, so with the hands up for people who want to be our scribe. Give me the first letter of your first name. Is it Caleb? Okay, Caleb, come on up. Caleb, everybody. Caleb, right over there. I'll just use the...
Yeah, it's just plain dead.
I think it's this one. Okay.
Too many mics.
I have 2 lapel mics on right now. Maybe that's the problem. No, we have business to do here. Caleb. Hello? Caleb, can you tell everyone your name?
I'm Caleb Young.
Caleb Young, thank you very much. I love your shirt, Jurassic Park. By the way, this is totally unrelated to the keynote. Jurassic Park, the film that I have seen more times in the theater than any other film. It was like this ripe age of like 12, where I was just old enough for like my folks to like leave me at the theater or maybe let me go with a friend. I can't tell you how many times I watched it. Caleb, you're gonna walk over to that whiteboard and you're gonna be ready for people to give you some answers. And I'll help you focus in because a lot of answers are gonna pop up. Are you ready? Are you up for the task?
Yes.
Caleb, our scribe, everybody give him a hand. Okay, so as we're trying to think about embracing the goodness of the priorities that we have set in our Lego life or in the rest of our life, what are some of the activities that you might want to participate in during the con? Let's do hands this time so we're not overwhelming Caleb with answers. Yes, in the back. Drafts. Drafts is a great answer. Yes? Display your mocks. Games, yes, playing games. Meet and greet. I'll slow down. Yes. Team builds. Yes. Vendor booths. Yeah.
Your keynote.
The keynote. Yeah.
See some awesome creation.
See the creations. Sorry, I didn't mean to change your word from see to look. I think see is deeper. Like, John Hanlon can look at me, but if John Hanlon sees me, right, that means more. I'm sorry to change your word. Yes?
Talking to other designers.
Talking to other designers. What about, like, I don't want to spit any out. I'm going to go to a few more people that I haven't seen a hand. Yes?
Make new friends.
Make new friends. New friends. Walking through places they've never been. I don't know. It was... Okay. Make new friends. Yes?
Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus.
I just want to see him writing.
Snuffleupagus. It's a new game we're playing tomorrow at 3:30. Jaron.
I love making the public smile.
Oh man. Let's hash that out a little bit. Can we all pick? He said, I love making the crowds. You say the public. I love making the public smile. I love engaging with them. Can we pick like one awesome word, and maybe it's like blank the public? No, come on. Say it again. No, not charge the public. Can I say? Did you say engage? You did say engage. I think engage is a good engage the public. Mark, what's your favorite thing about LEGO conventions? Engaging the public. Is it engaging the public?
Yeah, I love the public.
Let's just take a couple more. Right up here. I'm going to let you talk into the mic because that's cool, right? Having fun. Oh, we're going to end with that one. Okay. All right. I'll take yours. Old friends. There we go. So new friends and old friends. Okay. I'm also the kind of person that whenever I hear 2 words or 3 words that I recognize from a song, I just start singing that song. Now, there's a lot of things. Everybody, Caleb, give him a hand. You can sit down for now. I'm going to use you. Caleb, everybody. I'm going to use you one more time a little bit later, but it's going to be a little bit later. So with all these things that we can do at LEGO fan conventions, there's no way we can do them all of the time, right? There's no way we can do all of them is what I mean, right? Like at any given time, we've got to make our choices about like what we're going to be doing, right? I found that. Raise your hand if you found that. I'm not going to bother Amber right now, but yeah, you found that. You got this thing. That can lead to FOMO, fear of missing out, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. It's easy to experience the fear of missing out when there's so many different things you could choose to do. Because even if there's a game and you're like, oh, I kind of want to do that game, but then you just like see somebody walk by and you're like, oh, I want to go connect with them, right? Both of those things are over there. All right. But when you identify your priorities, then you live fully into the moment of those priorities. You fully appreciate the people in the draft that are there with you and the fact that you got the part that they want. I mean, the fact that you're all sharing in this time together where you're growing your collections, and those moments are going to enable you to build more, better, cooler, bigger things in the future. You go around and you take in the moment, even if, because this one's, display, okay. The one I was thinking of was see the creations, right? How many of us get 2 days into a convention and we say like, oh, I haven't even been around to see all the creations yet. I know it happens to me. I know some of you are very intentional about seeing them right away. But I heard Jake Sadovich say that earlier. So. But if you're there and you're fully present and you embrace the goodness of your priorities, you can go a long way toward eliminating that regret that you might feel about the choices you've made, right? And that, in my experience, look at that. This is community, everybody.
Thank you.
Wait.
Oh, Jen Smart, ladies and gentlemen. And this isn't just true. The LEGO convention is just the really tight microcosm of an example that we're all very familiar with, right? But this applies to every part of my life. So embrace the goodness of your priorities. Cody, where are you? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cody, do you get to do all of the things you want to do at a LEGO fan convention?
Not this one, but yes.
At BrickSlopes, I'm talking about BrickSlopes. Oh. You were an incredibly busy man this weekend. Do you get to do all the things you would love to do this weekend?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Is the benefit of embracing your priorities this weekend absolutely worth the trade-off?
Well, this is why I do it, just for these people right here.
So it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Everybody, Cody Otley. It's not just LEGO conventions, it's the rest of your life as well. So many of us, that LEGO life and the rest of life is like so intertwined, right? We're all probably somewhere on that spectrum. And we constantly have to find the right balance for us. One great example of that weird space in between regular life and LEGO life, whatever that looks like for you, a great example that many of us probably identify with is oh no! The next slide was totally supposed to be one of those things where each one comes in at a time. But I'll just save it because that's right. So it's the LEGO budget, right? Figuring out how to make your budget work with LEGO and like everything else in your life, right? I'm sure some of you, are in a situation where you don't have to worry a lot about that, but I think many of us think about that quite often. So the next slide is Boone's tips for saving money on LEGO. We're going to shift gears. This is less of a lesson. I'm going to say Boone's tips on saving money on LEGO. The first one, don't buy any. I promise you, that is like the fastest ticket to saving money on LEGO if you don't buy any. I know, what fun is that? I don't really want to encourage you not to buy any, it was just a joke. The second one, attend fan conventions and other types of things. Who in this room has gotten free LEGO already this weekend? Who has gotten? What percentage?
Oh, everybody.
Okay, close to 100%. So you've done two things. You killed two birds with one stone. You paid to come and have fun, and you got free LEGO at the same time. Compete. There's all types of competitions, whether it's at the convention, or might be in your lug and there's a prize, or it might be a YouTube channel you follow and there's a prize. It might be something that happens on television. The next one is be the LEGO person in your non-AFL circles. And what I mean by this is these are all kind of half jokes and all sort of like serious. What I mean by that is when you post nothing but LEGO stuff on Facebook and nothing but LEGO stuff on Instagram, the people in your life who are not AFLs begin to think of you as the LEGO person. And when they come across some free LEGO that they found, at an in-laws house, I don't know why I pulled in-laws out, or if they are cleaning out their classroom, or if they are clearing out their old child's room, this can happen. Raise your hand if that's happened to you. Yeah, it happens, seriously, because you're the LEGO person, and they'll just be like, hey, you want some of this LEGO? Sometimes you have to do some really gross sorting to make it worth building. The next one is buy used. And I'll be honest with you, I do a lot of that. I do a lot of buying used because it can stretch your dollar really far. Mark, Amber, whoa, they switched places.
No. Surprise.
Hey, this is going pretty well. Are you doing okay over here?
He's helping a little bit.
He's helping a little bit? Okay, good. Thank you, Mark, for helping a little bit. But I've got to pull you away. Give the alligator back to Amber. This is Mark's first opportunity to stand up. Oh, crocodile, I'm sorry.
Oh,
crocodile.
We've been building an alligator.
Jeez. All right, Mark's going to come up here. This you can do right here. Mark, can you tell everybody how we met?
We met.
Can you hold the mic?
Yeah. We met at a used LEGO store in Portland, Oregon. Oh, not just where, but how?
Yeah, tell the story.
It was a bricks and minifigs, and I was there. It was, the bulk tables looked like this, and I'd go there all the time. I forgot what I was building at the time. And then we're digging through, and then I look up and I see this guy that looks like this in a used Lego store. And we're kind of like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, hi. You know, and then like a week later, we saw each other again at the same place. And we're like, oh, okay. All right. And then you were looking for like red bricks.
I was looking for red brick.
And then so I just stopped what I was doing and I helped you. So that was the first time I helped him. And then there was another time after that when we were in the Lego aisle at Walmart.
But they don't sell used brick at Walmart.
No, yeah. So I'm walking this way, he's walking this way, and he had his daughter's backpack on for some reason. What? He did. And so we're literally going to reenact it. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Did I have a cart? I think I had a cart, right?
You had a basket. So we're literally just doing this.
Are there any children in the Lego aisle?
Nope. Just us. And we're like, hey, what's up? Because we didn't know, it wasn't bricks and minifigs. Okay, we're done with that. It wasn't bricks and minifigs, so I didn't recognize it. So it was out of context, but anyways. We're done.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Is that it?
Whoa.
You have 2 mics?
No, I don't anymore. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Mark Cruikshank. Okay. Their enthusiasm gets less every time they clap for you, Mark. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. And the last one is start small. My friend Perry, he is in the middle of this, and it's did that weird iPhone thing where like he looks really tiny and I look monstrous. And my head is big, but it's not like iPhone distortion big. Perry, this is November 2019. Perry happened to be in LA while the rest of us were at a 2-month-long convention. and he stopped in. But Perry told me this story one time on a live stream, which I do, that he started as an AFOL. He never had Lego as a kid. And he started as an AFOL with 1 pick-a-brick cup. He just happened to be passing by the Lego store at a mall. He popped in, he walked back to the pick-a-brick, and he thought, wow, well, this is interesting. You can buy these pieces and just fill up a cup. So he filled up this cup. And this is like a picture he took when he first like kind of dumped out the cup and started putting pieces together. And you can see here, I think this was kind of maybe a method of sorting for him as a very, is fledgling the right word? Infant AFOL. It's kind of opposite of an oxymoron. And then he just started experimenting with like patterns, and all he had was this single cup of Bricklink, not Bricklink, I don't know why I said that. Single cup of Pick-a-Brick. And then this is something else he built. I don't quite remember what he said this was, but maybe it was like an experimentation with, I want to say maybe like a candy machine. Like, can I build a candy machine with, there's like half a dozen unique elements in this, right? Because he was just getting stuff off the Pick-a-Brick. And he bought a couple more Pick-a-Brick cups. And then this was one of his next mocks, and this was really when he was really pushing himself. Like, I looked through this, and if you exclude the dog, this was maybe his like 3rd Pick-a-Brick cup, which how much has he spent by this time? $45. He's really pushing himself with, and I was looking at just this area, I think there's about 20 unique elements there. And as a brand new AFOL, he's pushing himself. Can I build my neighborhood with this limited amount of brick that I have? So, okay, that was the last one. Start small. I thought it would be fun to do that every time there's a new lesson. I don't know if it's not. At least it, anyway. All right, the next one. Next Lego life lesson, be kind to your past self. I'm gonna try to get through this one pretty quickly. And what I mean by that, it's incredibly easy to be really hard on ourselves for the things that we wish we'd done differently, right? Let's look at one really simple example. Who has a hard time keeping their Lego organized? Anyone have a hard time keeping their Lego organized? Okay, yep, me too. I also have a really challenging time, like when I'm finished with a project, like just like leaving stuff. And then like stuff is just sort of in the way and I'm working in like smaller and smaller spaces for my projects. So if you're like that, you might say something to yourself like, I never put that away. Oh, I look at that thing and every time I look at that thing, a little piece of me gets down on myself for not putting that thing away. I should be more organized. But if instead you choose to be kind to your past self and you say, instead of, I never put that away, you say, my past self did me a favor of leaving that in this incredibly convenient place. Right? And you go from, instead of judging your past self as a selfish jerk, you can regard yourself, your past self, as one who is thoughtful, helpful, considerate of others. I apologize. Give me just a moment. I've had 6 hours of sleep in the last 72. So there's going to be just maybe 1 or 2 more of these moments where I just go. But another couple of examples are, things, these regrets that you might have, like, I wish I'd spoken up. I wish I'd entered that contest. Oh, why didn't I apply for that job? When instead you could be telling yourself, I was craftily saving my energy for a time when it really counts. Okay? So be kind to yourself, because if you're kind to your past self, it helps you be kind to your present self. It helps you be kinder to your future self. It helps you be kinder to everyone else, right? Because I believe, I have to keep turning it back on myself because I'm not talking about you. I am not you. I don't have your experiences. I only have my experiences. But in my experience, the more we give ourself grace, the more we extend ourself the benefit of the doubt, the more capacity we have to do that for everyone else we encounter. Okay. Now, before my next Lego life lesson, I have a little bit something different for you. Oh, no. Yeah, this one goes, Lego lingo! Something like that. Now, you probably, most of you know a lot of the Lego lingo that we have, right? Amber, Mark, how's it going over here?
So good.
Good.
So good. They're doing good. Okay. But I want to talk a little bit about lesser known Lego lingo. Well, one you've probably all heard, I'm sure, is snot, which of course, stud's not on top. But you may not have heard of slop. Studs left of plate. Or, if you're on Facebook mobile, BrickSlop is what you see on the BrickSlopes Facebook page. And the cool thing about slop, studs left of plate, is all you have to do is turn it to the right, and you have srop, studs right of plate. Another lesser-known Lego lingo word, you might know the word construction, the system of Lego components using large ball joints primarily found in buildable figures such as those from Bionicle Hero Factory and the large superhero and Star Wars character sets. But you may not have heard of confunction, that unidentifiable smell experienced at the last half of each day of a fan convention. Yeah. All right, yeah. You know what, you laughed because you know what I'm talking about. And this is the last Lego life lesson. There's goodness in ritual. This is something, I don't know why. I think I discovered a lot of this stuff. I first started thinking about some of this stuff in some of the books I read. There's this great book. I meant to put it in the presentation, but I forgot. And it's called like Primal Branding. And it talks about these brands that do such a good job at making us love their product and identifying what is it about the brands, and you can think of the ones that I'm talking about. What is it that those brands do that make us fall in love with their product and like want to go spend a whole weekend, you know, like interacting with that product and the other people that like that product. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But the ritual is one of the things that, so it's a guy named Hanlon. It's not John Hanlon, it's not Joshua Hanlon, I can't remember his first name, but it's worth a read, and he actually does talk about Lego. He talks about Apple a ton, he talks about, I'm sure you can imagine the others, but he does say some interesting things about Lego. But ritual is one of the things that he identifies. What are the rituals that those companies foster in their fans that acts as one of the things that brings their fans together, right? And ritual has become very important to me in my life. And if you hear the word ritual and you think I'm talking about some sort of, I don't know what you, if you think I'm talking about some sort of like religious rites, that's not exactly what I'm talking about here, but I'm sure if you think about what we do here, there are some parallels that can be drawn. Okay, but so Mark has to get up again, one more time. Amber, thank you for continuing to build. Mark is going to help me one more time. And for this, I'm going to see if I can just like cover up the lens a little bit, just put a little something in front of there. Awesome. All right, so Mark, come up here. Mark and I had this ritual on Lego Masters. Every morning we would get up. We would get up in the morning.
That's it?
That was our ritual.
All right, I'm okay.
If all you do is get up in the morning, you can get second place. But we would get up in the morning, every single morning, very early, and we would be getting ready to go do the competition for a lot of hours each day. And Mark or I would get out our phone. Do you have your phone? Yours is going to be easier to get out because I've got all these like lapel mics. And one of us would pull up on our phone. Do you want to tell them what we listened to?
No, you go. It's your thing.
He would pull up on his phone, or I would pull up on my phone, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. And
Go right here.
yeah, we'd put it in a shirt pocket.
Flannel pocket.
We always had flannels on, or plaid shirts on. And it starts out kind of like, doom, 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 doom. I'll go to the bridge, like, doom, 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 doom,
And that's what we would do.
Sometimes they were like in, you're not doing it.
No, I know. Because I want to tell, the best part about this is we would, where we filmed, they would let us go outside for fresh air, which was great. And we would be in between these two like mobile trailers kind of thing, and we'd be doing this, and only we could hear, the volume of my cell phone
He
speaker.
promised me he was going to dance with me.
I
and he's
did.
not.
I did. And then there would be production people walking by, and they just see us like doing the like.
Running in the shadows, chain. Yeah.
Yep.
And what did
Ritual.
that ritual do for us, Mark?
It kind of, I don't know, because we did it every day. It was like, okay, let's do this, and then let's go in there, do that. And
Yeah.
it put us in that mindset of.
Something about the movement,
Yeah.
the music, doing that every morning, knowing that it reminded us of days where we had gotten through and succeeded, right?
You want that back? I'd have this.
Mark, was that ritual important to you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Cruikshank. And then I'm going to talk about one more ritual that I use in my life. And it is what I call liturgy of the morning meeting. And I know with liturgy, I'm using another like super like churchy word. And that's not my intention. I love the word for something that you do over and over again that orients you to the good things in your life. So just a little over a year ago, during lockdown, my wife Danny and I started a business. Like I'd been kind of doing different things leading toward that for a number of years. Hanlon's Beyond the Brick, majorly influential in guiding me on my way of like finding some really awesome opportunities in the Lego community. Other people here as well. But it was lockdown that we really became a self-employed household for the very first time. And that was probably about June. And then by like September, we had identified that we were having these morning meetings, and we would have this morning meeting where we have to decide like what are the important things that we have to get done today, what are the emails we've got to respond to. I don't know, I'm walking down the center aisle, I just thought it would be more engaging. What are the tasks that have to get done today? What are the things that we can put off until tomorrow? And we would find that that there, sorry. We would find that we would argue. We would start arguing because there's all this stuff that has to get done, and it's lockdown, and we're just together every single day, and we've got different ideas. We bring different strengths to the team, and we've got different ideas about what's more important, and we'd have these really tense moments, right? And we would start arguing about the business that had to be done, and then we'd get to a point where we're like, why are we arguing about this? And we kind of identified after some challenging, pulling out of the truth in a way, that it had nothing to do with the business. It was all about the other things in our life that we were bringing with us every morning. And I feel like I messed this one up. Oh, no, this is good. This is right. So we wrote together the liturgy of the morning meeting. And I'm just going to read it to you. This will not apply to you specifically, but I'm hoping that there's something in here, a nugget. And this is something that I've been doing every business day morning with my wife for almost a year. And we switch off each day, and one of us reads it to the other. Morning meeting is about to begin. First, we must briefly check in so we might each understand something about how the other enters this time. We will resist the urge to solve any problems during check-in, but merely listen to each other express the state of our being as we enter morning meeting. And then we ask each other these questions and we let each other respond. What is one thing that didn't work yesterday? Go back and forth. Then we ask, what is one thing that worked yesterday? We can almost always both find unique answers to both of those questions. How did you sleep is the next question. Because let me tell you, I can't tell you how often how we slept affected how we behaved in that morning meeting. How I slept last night has affected how I performed in this keynote. And this is the important one, you guys, sometimes we talk about this for an hour. What do you bring with you leading up to this moment? It's very open-ended, but it is just outside of the work we're about to do together. What do you bring with you leading up to this moment? The next two are quite personal, so I'm just gonna breeze through them. Morning meeting is about to begin. It's a sacred time to us. It's a time set apart from the rest of the day to ask and answer the questions of the day with care, calm, and thoughtfulness, because we had to identify that we weren't always doing that. Morning meeting is about to begin. It's a valuable time. It is a time when the topics we discuss and the decisions we make will drop like stones into the current. I wrote this part. Drop like stones into the current of our shared future, rippling out. They will have a lasting impact on the current of that river, the success or failure of our shared endeavor.
That sounds like a song.
Yeah? It's a time when the topics we discuss and decisions we make will drop like stones into the current of our shared future. I don't know. And then we always ended by saying, often together, let the morning meeting begin. And my wife is another one of my high five partners. So we do that at that point in time. So now, all of that was very personal to me. So it's going to look different for you, right? But what I'm trying to say is that being intentional about how we enter spaces, whether it's a Lego fan convention, maybe it's your family, and choosing the moments when you're going to be intentional about seeing each other and hearing each other. Maybe it's your lug. Sorry. Maybe it's your lug. Maybe it's the way those whatever. And it doesn't have to be a sappy thing that you read to each other each time. Maybe it's just your drafts, right? Maybe it's the barbecue each year. But being intentional about those rituals, and this is one of them, isn't it? Right? And respecting the people that are around us and seeing each other and knowing that we're all both awesome and have our shortcomings. I think there's goodness in ritual. Okay. I hope that didn't get too far out there. But we're going to go back to this because there's one more thing I want to talk about, and it's those words like acceptance, connection, belonging. Man, love is such a big one. I'm not going to touch that one because that is so unique to each one of you and how you handle that, but I do have a story. Last night, very, 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 very late last night, we went up to Jake Sadavich's room, and he was putting together that ship. Jake, what's the name of that ship? Dauntless Patrol Boat. And we were there for a little bit, and he was so focused. And he's got his people in the room, and they're kind of sorting parts, and there's parts all over the bed. Very well organized, but they're looking for all the right parts. And I said, dude, this is so cool. I got to go work on my keynote. And as I'm walking out, he said, later, dude. And I said, what'd you say? And he said, when? And it's so late. But I think when he said, later, dude, I thought he said, love you. and I was like, oh, I thought you said I love you. And he's like, I really, really, really like you. Jake, I hope you don't mind that I told that story. All right. I was like, I really like you too. So I'll let you work. I'll let you work on that one on your own. But I want to talk about this connection, belonging, acceptance. Okay? And I just want to tell you about this triangle. In so many aspects of our lives, we think about our engagements in activity and our achievements. Oh, I don't have to walk over here. I've got a laser. We think about our achievements as this hierarchy where a lot of people are sort of okay at this. Most people, whatever the expertise is, most people are down here, and a very few small number of people are just really, really good at something. Caleb, we need you one more time. It's 8:53. We're very close. We're very close to the end. Everybody, clap him so he gets up here really fast. Caleb. Oh, we don't have an eraser. This is weird. Okay. Caleb, everybody. We're just quickly going to go around and talk about just a few ideas. Try to give me one-word answers. What are some things you're really good at? Things you're really good at. Things that of all the people who try to do that thing, you're way up here at the very top of that hierarchy. You're really good. What are some things? What? Singing. Yeah. Voice impersonations. I was about to do one, but I'm not going to. What else? Something you're really good at. Yeah. Cartooning. I heard honesty. That's okay. Yeah, put honesty up there. Yeah. Speaking Japanese. Yeah.
This guy says he's good at math.
That guy's good at math. Yeah, something you're really good at. Ninja moves. Are you good at ninja moves? You like to do it? Do you want to come up and do some ninja moves for us? Here we go. Ninja move. Whoa! Ninja moves. Ninja moves. Okay. Any others? Like mock building? Can we mock building on there? What? Buying Lego? Sorting? I don't know. Organizing? That can be any, like, does anybody like Marie Kondo, their Lego collection? Like, okay, this. Does this bring me joy? Wouldn't that be funny? We don't have time. I want to do one so bad. Does Jack Stone bring me joy? That's fine. That's good. Thank you, Caleb. You may sit down. Everybody, that's the last time you get to clap for Caleb. This is just representative, right, of all the things we could be good at. But thinking about Lego, mock building, you've got people that like win awards every year. You've got people that can go on TV and win. And then people who can go on TV and give keynotes afterward. And those are two different groups of people, if you don't remember. But my point with this triangle is one person may be at the very top of this triangle. They are the best at whatever this triangle represents. Let's give it a name. They are the best at, I'll say singing because it's at the top of the list. But if we rotate that triangle a little bit and imagine that the next triangle represents something else. Maybe the next triangle is voice impersonations. This is all representative of anything, right, that we can create hierarchies for. Then you recognize that, look, some of these people who are really good at that are completely outside of the triangle for this other thing, right? And then the next thing rotates around a little bit more. Maybe this is mock building. Maybe the people who are incredibly good at mock building are way up here. They're completely out of this triangle for singing. They're completely out of the triangle. As you go around and you identify every person in the community, I already spoiled the end. Every person in the community, it's your lug, it's your neighborhood, it's your family, it's your work, wherever you go. And you identify all of those different skills. If you can imagine that going infinite possibilities, eventually it starts to turn into a circle, right, as those triangles rotate around. And as we appreciate what everybody is good at, and we look for ways to recognize that, then what you end up with is community. I hope that made sense. That was something that popped into my head the other day, and I was like, I think that's worth sharing. So support your community. I think we heard a really good, geez, I'm going to choke up. I think we heard a really good example of that last night, right? People that are identifying somebody who is really good at doing this, right? Making this happen. And that's what's happening. And it's happening in wherever you all come from. So support your community. Okay? We're nearing the end. How did our builders do?
Are you saying we have to be done?
Yeah. I should have said we're at the end. Would that be more clear than we're nearing the end?
Yes.
Okay, come on up and present. Come on up and present. All right. Mark, Amber, what'd you guys build?
Okay. So as people know, I don't talk about our build, so you have to talk about it.
Yep. So here we have sneaking through the jungle. Is it a crocodile or an alligator? Which one do we got? Mr. Crocodile being all inconspicuous. But then, out of the blue,
Lasers!
Whoa!
lots of lasers pointed right at his beautiful plaid shirt. We hope he survives.
Okay. All right, great presentation. You made the right choice asking Amber to tell the story. Everybody, give a hand to our builders, Amber and Mark. Thank you. Go put that somewhere fun. Hey, give a hand to our scribe, was Caleb. Right, where'd he go? That was Caleb. Everybody I made fun of, thank you very much. I mean, I'm sorry. Oh, that was the slide that said, let's give our builders a hand. Big thank you to Cody and the committee for inviting me. It's been a real pleasure. You are all amazing. And speaking of amazing, go build something amazing.
Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I hope you found something funny, something to laugh about, maybe something to think about, and hopefully some things that you can take away on your own Lego journey moving forward. If you like this video and you want to see other videos from me, please subscribe to Boone Builds, like the video, hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to click the bell icon to get notifications when I go live and when I publish other videos in the future. Thanks again so much for your watching. Until next time, go